What our analysis shows is that the Canadian canola sector is threatened by export concentration as well as some underlying structural risks, such as domestic processing capacity, as well as regulatory barriers in other markets. Research was released when the Canada-China deal were easing some trade tensions, but a resolution was not fully reached. And this distinction matters because our research also highlights the capricious nature of the other big trading relationship, which is with the United States. For example, President Trump threatening 100% tariffs on Canadian imports if Canada goes forward with any trade deal with China. So this deal, while it offered some relief for the pressure on farmers, it also created a false sense of security. So what our work highlights is that the canola sector's high export concentration and how that exposes the sector to geopolitical risks, and that alternative markets for diversification are limited for a number of reasons. And the recent deal demonstrates exactly that vulnerability in real time. For example, access to Chinese market shifted because of broader diplomatic trade-offs. And at the same time, this deal left key issues unaddressed. Canola oil remains under 100% tariff. There was no talk about that, as well as diversification barriers that are not talked about. For example, the GMO regulations and processing capacity that remain in place for canola oil. That outcome reinforces what our data analysis already showed, that Canada can regain access to the Chinese market for seeds, but if domestic processing and infrastructural constraints are not addressed, then it cannot control where and how its products are being sold. Media attention and coverage helps surface the issue, but lasting impact comes when evidence-based research is used for technical and policy discussions, directly addressing issues identified in works like ours that looks at discussions around infrastructure resilience in-house, like the domestic processing and crushing capacity, as well as the transportation infrastructure for value-added products, as well as stable biofuel policy signals. Otherwise, future trade disruptions are going to bring about similar outcomes, regardless of short-term trade deals.